Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to cut to the results this week and tell you I lost a pound, which takes me back to 10 stone 4, the bottom of my target range. I'm happy with that, I'm smiling, I'm comfortable in my own skin again. On Sunday I took a friend out for lunch, it was her birthday, and I didn't overindulge. My food was perfectly well within control. I did choose to have a dish that I wouldn't normally have had, but I counted it. On Monday I felt bloated. Now I don't think this had anything at all to do with the meal because I was on plan. I think it was just one of those things. So I chose to reduce my sins on Monday, Tuesday and then Wednesday to 8. By Wednesday I had that nice, lean, comfortable feeling back. So on Thursday and Friday, my sins were back up to 11. That resulted in a weight loss of £1. So yes, I'm back sitting pretty within target, comfortably so. Group this morning was fabulous. My group leader is back from the States after 19 days on holiday. She inspires me. I know lots of people say from my vlogs that I'm an inspiration. But oh, I wish I could bottle Naomi and sell her. She went on holiday for 19 days. She planned in advance by losing a little weight. Now this is a young woman who's been at Target for 5 years. She still thinks about preparing for events. She prepared before she went on holiday and lost a little weight. She's had 19 fantastic days in America and come back £2 over target. Now that just blows my mind. That's what I need to learn how to do. I need to practice doing. I know, and I could put money on it if I was a gambler, that by next week Naomi will be back in target. And this is why I want to keep going to her group, because she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. She's in there with us. She's doing what we're doing. In fact, she said this morning, I could not stand up in front of all of you people and say what I say if I wasn't doing it. You know, it was Diamond Target Day today. We've got ladies in our group. I mean, Naomi's at Target for 5 years, another lady at Target for 4.5 years, another lady got her 1 year at Target today, so she got her Diamond Award. There were 3 others who are Diamond members. That means you've been at Target for a year or more. Some of them, you know, again, 3 years, 4 years. This is what keeps me going. I'm grateful to those people today because they're setting a fabulous example for the rest of us, including yourselves, to follow. So what Naomi was talking about was preparing rather than repairing. Now, if you know you're going on holiday in 3 or 4 weeks' time and you can lose a decent chunk of weight before you go, it's damage limitation. Because when you come back with maybe a 3, 4, 5 pound gain, you're not taking a massive step backwards. So if you can hold that and it's useful to you to remember, prepare, then there isn't so much need for repair. That's something I need to hold on to today. I did it a couple of weeks ago when it was Father's Day. I prepared with a weight loss so that I could go out and have a ball. And I did. I enjoyed myself. It's not very often you'll hear me talking about having a dessert. I chose to have a dessert that day, but I was in control. And that's the difference today for me. Planning it and not just thinking about it, actually doing it. So prepare, then you don't need to repair. A couple of birthday wishes I'd like to give out today. It's not something I generally do, but it came to my attention that on Thursday it was Lauren B's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday, Lauren, for Thursday, and I hope you had a grand day. Also, it's Laurie of Laurie Loser's birthday today. So again, happy birthday, Laurie. I hope you have a nice day. And thank you for the apology you put on your video for me yesterday. It is much appreciated. Okay, moving on. A couple couple of weeks ago, my word for the week was change, or maybe changes. I was sitting at my computer on Thursday, Joe was out, and I was doing a bit of clerical stuff. And I thought to myself, think of a few things that you don't do today, not changes that you've necessarily chosen to make, but things you don't do today that you used to do when you were a big, big girl. So they are changes, aren't they? But they're not changes that I have strategically planned to make. The things that have happened, ways that I've evolved, that I can recognise now as being new behaviours. So I thought, I'm going to sit here, fingers on keyboard, until I come up with 10 things that I don't do today that I used to do when I was a big, big girl. Do you know, it took me all of about 2.5 minutes to bang them out. And there must be many, many more. But I'm going to illustrate today, I'm going to get Joe to help me. I'm going to show you today 10 things that I don't do that were things I did every day, or more or less every day. So if Joe, you could give us number 1.
Add sugar or sweetener to food and drink.
Yeah, I was a great one for sugar. I'm not a lover of sweetener. I've tried it and it doesn't do it for me. If I'm going to add anything, it would be real sugar. But for today, the change in me is I used to add 2 heaped teaspoons of sugar to every cup of coffee I had in a day. And I mean heaped teaspoons, as much as you could possibly balance on there. So we're talking maybe 4 sins worth, because we know a level teaspoon is 1 sin. If I went out for a coffee and they didn't make it quite how I liked it, I'd add more than 2, just to disguise the fact that it was possibly too strong, or too something, you know, too weak, too wishy-washy, whatever. So in effect, I was drinking coffee for the sugar. I wasn't drinking it because I like the taste of coffee. I just love the taste of sugar. That's changed. I began by decreasing the sugar slightly, and then realised this is a waste of time, just quit it. I can't even pinpoint when I stopped taking sugar, but I don't take sugar anymore. I don't use sweeteners. I've tried stevia because it's been recommended as quite a natural sweetener. I don't like the artificial sweeteners, purely because they are artificial. And there's too many things in there that I couldn't possibly recognise, and I'm not sure about consuming them. So I'm better staying away from that sweet, sweet taste, because if I got into taking sweeteners, it wouldn't be long before I was back on the sugar. Quite an embarrassing thing a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy in fitting a new boiler, and what's the first thing you say to a workman? Can I make you a drink? Oh yes please love, he said. Tea with 2 sugars. We don't have sugar in this house. I offered him Joe's stevia, I offered him honey, but he said, I'll have it without, it's fine. I can't remember the last time I bought a bag of sugar. It's probably 18 months, 2 years ago. So yeah, that's something I don't do anymore. I don't use sins on my drinks, hence I don't put sugar in them anymore. Number 2, Joe.
Lay in bed once I'm awake.
Oh, I was the world's best at this. I've never been one for waking late. I've always been quite an early waking person. I'm always awake by 7, if not before. I don't need an alarm clock. I wake up. But I used to lay there, you know, and think about my day. I'd think about, shall I get up and have my breakfast before I have a shower? Shall I have a shower first? Shall I strip the bed and put the washer on before I have a shower, before I have my breakfast? Or shall I do it the other way around? And I'd think and think and think and add things to my list until there were so many things on my list that I didn't want to get out of bed because I didn't know where to start. I'm a great procrastinator, the world's best thinker. But I also used to be such a lazy person that I didn't do, I just thought. I would lay in bed because I didn't want to have to face what I needed to do, because I was too fat and too heavy and too uncomfortable and too lazy, and my back ached and my legs ached and my knees ached if I had to get down to get up again, and my head generally ached. So I'd lay in bed, and because Richard had gone to work and because Joe had gone to college or wherever they were, I'd just lay there. And I'd lay there until I dozed off again. And then I'd wake up with the inevitable headache. And then I'd start my day with paracetamol, which led on to more paracetamol or whatever. And by the time I got up and got showered and got dressed, it would be lunchtime. And none of the jobs had got done. And so now, when I wake up, I get up. Because I'm not heavy anymore. My back doesn't ache anymore. My legs don't ache anymore. My knees don't creak anymore. My head doesn't ache anymore. I'm fit and I'm active and I'm on the go from the minute I wake up in the morning. Next.
Sit in my chair and think about what I ought to be doing.
Now this followed on from laying in bed and thinking what I ought to be doing. Because eventually, after showering and eating, or eating in my chair, I'd make my way into this rocking chair, which is my chair of choice. And I'd put the world to rights, generally on the phone with a friend for an hour, or my mum for an hour. Anything to avoid doing what needed doing. More procrastination. I'd sit here and I'd think about the jobs that needed doing. And I'd think and I'd think and I'd think, but I never got up and did them. So when my husband came home from work, those jobs generally still needed doing, and he'd do them. Or Joe would come in from college and he'd do them. You know, the pots, the breakfast pots, the lunch pots, still be on the kitchen table or on the worktop because I've been thinking about putting them in the dishwasher. But because you have to rinse them off before you put them in the dishwasher, and then you have to open the dishwasher and pull out the rack and do all of these things, I'd think about, it seems like hard work. When you weigh 22 stone, it is hard work. And I used to resent having to rinse off the pots before I put them in the dishwasher. So if Richard wasn't here, I'd shove them in dirty and switch it on. You know, hope he didn't notice. Doesn't do your dishwasher any good. Today, I've got rid of the dishwasher. I did too much thinking about it. Now we have a meal, we get up, we wash the pots, we dry the pots, we put them away. Job done. I don't sit in my chair anymore thinking about putting the washing machine on. Thinking about pegging the washing out. I do it. I don't sit in my chair anymore thinking, shall I put the washing into the tumble dryer because I can't be bothered to lift my arms and it hurts to hang the washing out. I do it. I don't sit in my chair anymore thinking, this bathroom needs cleaning. I do it. So yes, I'm much more action woman than procrastinating woman today. Next.
Hop on the bathroom scales.
My life and happiness and peace of mind was always determined by the results on my bathroom scales. I had talking bathroom scales, so I could get on them. Nobody else would be aware of it. I'd get on every morning. Sometimes I'd get on 3, 4, 5 times a day. If I got on in the morning and I got a decent result, you know, you've lost a bit, I'd get on 3 more times in the day just to make sure I hadn't put it on again. And you do, inevitably you do, because a pound of water weighs a pound of weight. Just the way a pound of feathers weighs a pound, or a pound of butter weighs a pound. And my life was determined, happiness or misery, depending on weight. Years ago, I used to be very much the same around horoscopes. If I read Virgo for today was a bad day, I would search the internet to find a good one before I allowed myself to have a good day, because I didn't think I deserved to have a good day unless somebody else said I could. How daft was that? And the scales, they were the bane of my life. Now, I'm not saying anybody else needs to do what I did, but the day I turned the corner was the day I joined Slimming World, and I decided that getting weighed 52 times a year was enough for me. And since I joined Slimming World and my scales went in the wheelie bin that day, since I joined Slimming World, I have not been on any other scales. Now, Joe's got some scales. I don't even know where he keeps them, and I couldn't read them anyway, so I'd have to ask him to weigh me, which also stops me doing it. But for today, I can honestly say I don't think about that. And my life is not determined by the number on the scales, except for on a Saturday morning, I look forward to the result I deserve. Thanks. Next one.
Food shop online.
Yeah, I know for a lot of people, food shopping online is the answer. If you're a busy mom, if you're a working lady, you're an active fella, you know, you work long hours, you work shifts. There's all sorts of reasons why people would shop online. for me, if I was doing the shopping online, now sometimes if it's necessary, Joe would do an online shop, but if I was doing it, there's too much temptation. Because my brain initially says, look at the offers. Then it says, look at the chocolate. And it says, look at the cake and biscuits and the bread. And even looking at those things, and even now thinking about those things, actually makes my guts turn. Because they're dangerous places for me. If you've got discipline and you can do this, then, brilliant, I applaud you. I can't. And also, I like fresh food. So I'm very lucky. I live within hopping distance or spitting distance of an Asda hypermarket. So, it's a 2-minute job to get there and it's a 2-minute job to get back. I'd rather have fresh fruit and veg every day or every other day than have a shopping delivery from Asda or Morrison's or Tesco's or Sainsbury's and be cursing as soon as the man's gone because nearly every fresh thing is dated the day after tomorrow and I can't possibly use it all that quickly. And then I resent paying for it, And these are just funny behaviours within myself that I have to acknowledge today and act differently on it. So for today, I don't shop online. Next.
Buy microwave meals.
Oh yeah. Poor old Joe. There was a period, bless him, when the lad got a microwave meal nearly every night for his tea. He never complained. He's a good lad. But looking back on it, oh my Lord, what was I playing at? Now, I'm not talking about things like Slimming World microwave meals. Some of you possibly enjoy those. I don't buy them today. They're not for me. I'm not criticising or condemning anybody's, any manufacturer's type of meals. I just know for me, if I don't know what's in that food, I didn't ought to be eating it today. So what I do is I cook in bulk, like I'll put my slow cooker on. I've got Pyrex dishes with Tupperware lids in different sizes that stack really well in the freezer. So I make my own microwave meals today. Now, they're in the freezer for occasional use. It's not what I choose to eat every day. However, if I was out at work and I knew that I could just cook in advance and take one of those out in the morning, put it in the fridge so it was ready to microwave when I came home at night, I'd call that forward planning. But I've got all the time in the world to cook fresh meals 3 times a day if I want to. And I've got the world's best little chef. And Joe loves cooking, so we're well equipped to eat fresh food. When I bought microwave meals, we have 2 fridges. One that's our everyday fridge, and one that carries the stock, the excess, the extra yogurts, the extra milk, the extra whatever. That fridge used to be full of Weight Watchers meals. Now, I wasn't doing Weight Watchers at the time. I don't do Weight Watchers. But they were just always on offer and they were just easy and there was a variety. And I can remember times when there would have been 30 Weight Watchers meals in that fridge. Can't you, Joe?
Yeah.
And it was like, well, just have one of those and some veg. Do yourself some chips and have one of those. That's no way to feed your family. But I was such a sad, fat, unhappy, unhealthy person. That was the best I could do at the time. I look back on it, I used to be ashamed of myself, but I look back on it today and I say, I did the best I could with what I had then. I can do better now, I know better. So I don't buy microwave meals. Yeah.
Take tablets of any kind.
Yeah. Because of Slimming World and the weight loss I have today, the last 3 stone 4 pounds I've lost with Slimming World, I am off all medication. Now, I used to have dangerously high blood pressure. I still had dangerously high blood pressure when I joined Slimming World. Today, my blood pressure is perfect. Well, my doctor described it as the average blood pressure of a 40-year-old, and I'm coming up 60. So I'm saying today 60 is the new 40. But my blood pressure is perfectly normal without medication. My cholesterol was high, and with the history that my family have, that's not good. Today, my cholesterol is perfectly normal. No medication. So the statins have gone, the blood pressure meds have gone. I used to take every day without fail 4 or 6 paracetamols. Now, I think I took them because I generally had a headache. But more so, I think I took them because it had become a habit. I had aching knees, aching back. I was often a victim of sciatica. Thank God I haven't had it for, well, the whole period of this weight loss. Never say never, but not today. So yeah, as of today and as of the last 6-7 months, I have not. Well, I'm not going to tell a lie. About a month ago, I had a headache and we had to go out and we had a long car journey ahead of us. So I took 2 paracetamols. I don't know whether they took the headache or not, I can't remember, but that was it. In the last 6-7 months, I've taken 2 paracetamols. I used to buy them. They were regularly on my shopping list. So yeah, I'm free from medication today because of this weight loss.
Cover up with cardigans.
Oh yeah. You know, I don't know whether some of you will relate to this, but I think you possibly will. When I was at my biggest, so we're talking size 26, I'd buy summer dresses or summer tops. And I'd go out with my friends, and most of my friends were probably a size 12, 14. More of them 12s, I'd say. And I'd always be the big girl in the bunch, and they never made me feel like that. I made me feel like that. But because I wanted to fit in, and because I wanted to look like them, I had this strange notion that if I put a cardigan on, nobody would notice I was bigger than them. And some of my friends, you know, I was easily 10 stone heavier than them. But if I wore a cardigan, I thought I looked average. Now, if you can visualise this, right, there's 5 of us. We're out for the evening. We're down at the pub. We're sitting out in the garden on a lovely sunny evening. They're in strappy tops or vest tops or pretty little T-shirts. And I'm in a summer dress. Sleeves to here, you know, as you do from Evans. But to make myself feel and look thinner, I'd put a size 26 black cardigan over it. And I honestly believe that made me look like them. Now let's face it. If you're a size 26, with or without a cardigan, you look a size 26. I really believed that if I put a cardigan on, it made me look small. Or it covered up the fact that I was a size 26. But hey, I was wearing a size 26 cardigan, so I wasn't going to look a size 14. But in my head, I thought I did. In my head, I thought wearing a cardigan disguised my size. I don't do that anymore. I own 2 cardigans, both quite dressy, the sort of thing you'd wear to go out in the evening, and you might wear them instead of a jacket and then you take them off when you got where you were going. But I promise you today, hand on heart, I will never ever buy a cardigan to hide inside. If I get to the stage where I need to do that, I know I'm in trouble. Thanks.
Refuse to climb stairs.
Oh, yes. For many years, as a big girl, I've refused to climb stairs. Now, I never said I can't climb those stairs because I'm too heavy or I'm not fit enough. I always said I shouldn't have to climb those stairs because I'm blind. How sad is that? I've used lifts that weren't available to the public to avoid climbing the stairs in a store or an office block, but always under the pretense of needing that lift because I was blind. And people are very obliging and they'll let you use their private lifts. Today, if there's a flight of stairs, I will generally, not always, I will generally climb it. Sometimes I'll use a lift to come down, because coming down a lot of flights of stairs when you're blind is actually quite stressful if you don't know them. And honestly, if you're in public places today, the handrails are usually so dirty that you don't want to use them, because by the time you get to the bottom of 6 flights of stairs, you need to wash your hands. So I can climb stairs without a handrail, but I don't like coming down unknown stairs without a handrail. When we go to our local hospital, to climb the stairs back up to the tram platform, it's 60 stairs. And I can practically run up those stairs today, and I'm not even slightly out of breath at the top. when I weighed 22 stone, I honestly couldn't have done it. So today, I don't refuse to climb stairs.
In town near the art gallery as well.
Oh yeah, 72 steps up to the art gallery to get up to the street level, isn't there? And I can practically run up those, can't I? Yeah, I'd forgotten about those ones. Yeah. So today, I mean, I live in a bungalow, so I'm not climbing stairs on a daily basis. And believe me, you lose the knack. And as a blind person, you've got to have confidence to run up steps. You've got to have a hell of a lot of confidence to run down them, and my confidence isn't that big. So, next.
Okay, last one. Hide my light under a bushel.
I've always been a reasonably confident person. I used to be the prayer leader in a local church, and I could stand up and lead prayers for 20 minutes from a platform in front of 300 people, and I wouldn't bat an eyelid. I'm not afraid of standing up in front of an audience. I've addressed 1,000 people before now, and I suppose being blind there is an advantage because you can't see the looks on their faces. But that doesn't faze me at all. But put me in a small social setting, like a party or a social occasion, I would be the one in the kitchen. You could always find me in the kitchen at parties. Do you know the song? If I was in a social setting like a wedding reception, a christening party, any kind of social setting where there was less than 20 people maybe, I hated being the fat person at that event. So if you'd have been looking for me, I'd have been in the toilet, in the kitchen, or in a corner, usually hiding within my cardigan. Yeah, I would have been. I can visualise me now sitting there like this, thinking, if I sit still enough, nobody will notice I'm a size 26, they'll all think I'm a 12. How stupid. How stupid. So I don't hide my light under a bushel today. I am much more confident in social settings. I don't think I stand out in a crowd anymore. I used to try and blend into the wallpaper, meld into the background. But today, because I feel kind of average, and Joe tells me often, you know, when I can still go into a room full of people and in my head believe I've got to be the biggest person in this room because I can't see everybody else. And that's not a bad thing. I can't judge anybody else. I can't judge myself against anybody else. But I still walk into a party setting, and if my head's in a bit of a wobbly state, imagine I'm the only fat person in this room. And sometimes Joe has to remind me, you know. But today, my confidence is up tenfold. So as before, you know, in front of 1,000 people, I was fine. They were looking at me from a distance, whatever. And I can talk. If I know my subject, I can talk. But put me in a room or invite me to a dinner party where there was 8 people around that table, and I was dying inside. I can feel it now. I was dying because there'd be 4 couples at that table, 3 ladies I would perceive to be slim or average, and then me, you know, hips hanging over the side of the dining chair. And that don't happen anymore. I sat on a chair, went for a coffee in Costa yesterday, and I sat on just an ordinary chair, and I was just thinking, alongside my hips was a hand width of chair either side. Now before, there would have been the chair and a hand width of me either side. So, you know, these are all improvements. And that makes me smile today when things like that happen to me. It's fabulous. So yeah, there's 10 things that I don't do today. I don't have my light under a bushel. And it's freedom. I love it. Right, a couple of products this week that are new to me. I keep trying to find new fruit and new veg. And one of the things that my niece brought to my attention this week were these. Now that looks like a kiwi. I don't know, is it a different colour from an ordinary kiwi?
Not very much.
Okay. This is a golden kiwi. Now I've never been a massive fan of the kiwi, but these, I don't know, the texture's a bit different. They taste nice, more of a sharp kiwi taste, and then a little bit sweet aftertaste. There are less of the sort of seedy centre bits, and I think that's why they attracted me. But because because the skin isn't quite so matte, it's a bit more leathery, I suppose. They actually peel very easily with a vegetable peeler. They're firm, but actually that's really ripe. It's ready to eat. So these we got ours in Tesco. I think they were 4 for £1.50. But I'm going to pick up some more tomorrow because I really like those. They'd be lovely in a fruit salad with strawberries and melon and what I call the summery fruits. So the things that are in season now. Make a fabulous fruit salad. And the other thing are these. These are Polish pickled mushrooms, pickled whole baby mushrooms. They are fab. I mean, I like mushrooms and I like pickles. So, of course, the two things go well for me. These are £1 in Asda, but they're probably available in other supermarkets. When you look at the ingredients on the jar, the top ingredient, of course, is mushrooms and vinegar and carrot and spices, things. Not strong spices, they're not spicy. One of the ingredients is sugar. So Joe actually, we assumed, wrongly assumed, which as Joe says makes an ass of me and you, or you and me. Makes
Look
an
at how
ass
it's spelled.
Oh yeah.
Ass you, me.
Yeah, makes an ass of you and me. So we assumed they were free. But just to be on the safe side, before we did the vlog, Joe ran it through the sin calculator. They're actually 2 sins for the whole jar. But you can see the jar is packed with mushrooms. They're lovely. And £1 a jar. So you can't go wrong there, can you? So that's my 2 products of the week. And then finally for today, the next picture in my collection. Is he there, Joe? On screen?
Yeah.
This is the...
Well, you've got to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to lift it in a second. This is the Tasteful Tomato, and he's quite a dapper chappy. So there he is, in all his glory. I'm assuming he's got nice shoes again. Yeah?
Yeah.
Joe has a thing about shoes, I'll tell you.
I don't.
Well, you used to have a big thing about shoes. You do like nice shoes. So, yeah, the Tasteful Tomato. So, he can go up on the kitchen wall now, and I have one more picture to bring you next week. That's my week. It's been a good one. It's been an on-plan week. It's been a fun week. We walked, no, not every day this week, because we had torrential rain all day on Wednesday. I think I've totaled about 36 miles this week, so that's good. I'd like to think I can average 12,000 steps a day, because 12,000 or just over for me is about 5 miles. So I try to aim at an average of 35 miles a week. So if I can't walk every day because I'm too busy, or if I can't walk as happened on Wednesday because it was torrential rain, and we walked on Tuesday in the rain, but on Wednesday it was torrential rain all day and it just wasn't wise to go out in it. So then I have to up my mileage on the days when I can walk. But I don't sit on my bum all day now. I get out there, I get active, and 8 miles for me today is easily achievable. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for my new subscribers. Thank you for the fabulous comments again this week, and have a great week. But remember, it works if you work it. It won't if you don't. Bye.